All right, so we start with fluency, coherence, and development. And this, this area, we look at exactly that. We mainly look at the student's ability to speak in extended stretches of speech, to develop ideas by making relevant contributions, and to organize and connect these ideas using appropriate cohesive devices. And to do this, we will answer a series of 2 or 3 questions. So let me give you an idea of how this rubric works. First, we will need to start with the first goal. The first question, does the speaker frequently rely on repeating what has been previously said, either in the prompt or by another speaker? So in this first question, we want to focus on repetition and consider whether the speaker repeats phrases or sentences again and again. The phrases may be repeated from what the speakers have said before, and they are going around in circles, or they may be relying on phrases from the prompt, either from the interviewer or the screen to construct their sentences. When the answer is yes for this question, and there is frequent repetition, we go to the second question. So, does the speaker respond with utterances longer than one simple sentence, providing description, reasons, or examples? So here, if the speaker adds on phrases or clauses, for instance, to provide more description, reasons, or examples, we will say that they can respond in utterances longer than a simple sentence and give them a 2. If they do not and merely provide a simple sentence to answer most of your questions, for example, if to a question like, can you tell me a little bit about your city? They only answer, my city is a small city. And if they continue to answer questions in this way, we would give them a 1. Now, going back to the first question, when the answer is no, the speaker does not rely on repetition, we move to the question above. So here are at least 2 of the following true. Contributions are relevant. Repetitions of ideas or phrases are rare. The speaker attempts extended stretches of language. Yeah, okay, right. So here we consider the relevance of contributions, repetitions of speech, and extended responses. These are qualities that we expect to usually see in the upper levels. And so if the speaker shows at least 2 of these skills, we will go for higher scores. If not, and they only show 1 of these skills, we go to the second question to the right. But this shows the question that we just looked at. And the conditions that need to be met are that contributions are relevant, ideas or phrases are rarely repeated. By repeating ideas or phrases, we mean specific things. So when ideas are repeated, it means that a speaker is talking about one idea for several sentences. And in that case, we say that the idea is repeated. For phrases, it's more easily detected. You will hear the phrases repeated and you hopefully will be able to notice them and decide that they are repeating phrases. C talks about what extended stretches of language means. So responses are substantive and lengthy. So by extended stretches of language, we are looking for a language that goes beyond the simple sentence. And not only that, but they are responding to questions by providing fuller answers, not just simple 1 or 2 details added to their response. Okay, and so if the answer is yes to at least 2 of these conditions, we will move on to the next box. So when the students do not meet at least 2 of the conditions we mentioned earlier, we move down to this question. Does the speaker use cohesive devices beyond the basic ones to organize ideas? For example, perhaps, maybe, I think that especially these are just examples of cohesive devices that would be beyond the basic ones like and, but, because, which students often use. And in this question, we look at the speaker's ability to use a range of cohesive devices or transitional words to connect and develop their ideas. We wanted to distinguish speakers who rely on simple, basic, traditional transitional words such as and or but, and those who go beyond that range. And so again, if they do have a range of cohesive devices that go beyond the basic ones, they will get a 4, and if not, a 3. So going back to the students who do meet the 2 or 3 conditions from the previous question, we go to the question above. Are the ideas clearly organized with few noticeable hesitations and short pauses that disrupt the speaker's pace? By the speaker, we mean the student's pace. So whenever questions are phrased like this with 2 parts, you can think of the second part as a precondition. So here, if there are noticeable hesitations and short pauses, what you see in the second part of this question, that indicates a speaker struggling with the language, and we can go ahead and give them the lower score because that is a precondition. And if that is not met, then you would go directly to the lower score. If there are no noticeable pauses or hesitations, but the ideas are not organized, they will still receive the lower score because they are not meeting both conditions. But if they do meet both conditions, then they will receive the highest score. Okay, and with that, I will pass it over to Danielle.